What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's new stimulus update, second stimulus check update, and stimulus news report for Thursday, October 8th. Today we have more good news regarding the possibilities of the stimulus negotiations going better than most even expected and knew, including President Trump himself. Some are even saying that we were within inches of a deal. Cisco, Wells Fargo, ESPN, and Anheuser-Busch are all laying off employees as we speak. Some good news though, Lowe's is going to be sending out worker bonuses to the tune of $100 million. And some really great news here, experts are saying that the fly that landed on Vice President Pence's head most likely will not spread COVID. But seriously though, who watched last night's vice presidential debate? First off, here are my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts as well, so leave them down in the comment section below. My thoughts were that this was a lot less exciting than it was with President Trump and Joe Biden. However, the good thing is we could actually hear what they were saying. So if you like actual debates, this was a fairly good debate. If you like theater, this was not it. So let's get into the new stimulus updates for Thursday, October 8th. First, Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin did talk yesterday, and they are talking about and getting back into negotiations for stimulus for the airlines. The airline bailout to the tune of $28.8 billion. Now, this is a different bill than the House was attempting to pass last Friday. That was the bill by an Oregon Democrat, and it was a good bill, but here was the issue. The issue was the bill that the Trump administration received, or the Senate Republicans received, was a different bill than the bill that the House was potentially going to try and pass. So that was the reason why Republicans blocked it, and there was no vote on this. So this is the reason why many people were wondering, why didn't they just pass it last Friday? Well, it was because it was a different bill. They were trying to play a little switcheroo, and it just didn't work. They caught on. This bill, however, is $28.8 billion. And this would only require $11.4 billion in new appropriations. The rest would come from unused fundings or grants. This bill, however, would most likely pass within the next couple of weeks once the Senate comes back to Capitol Hill, and this is expected to pass prior to the election. Now, here's the problem. Most people are understandably upset by these talks and wondering, why is it only the airlines that are getting a bailout? Why are airlines getting additional funding, and why not the people? Why is there no unemployment for the unemployed? I thought that was an issue. Another question people are having, why is there no money for businesses? Why is the airline getting the priority? Why are they the number one priority right now for Congress, for Nancy Pelosi, Steve Mnuchin, and President Trump? I thought the airlines were a priority, but I thought businesses were a priority. I thought the American people were a priority. What's going on? And what about schools, testing and tracing? What about vaccines? I thought all this stuff is important. Again, why are airlines getting all the attention? Just because they're laying off people? Well, guess what? There are no students in many schools across the country. So shouldn't that be a priority? Well, based on a lot of the reports that I've been reading over the past 24 hours and including the past 3 hours just this morning. Yes, I started over 3 hours ago from shooting this video. So I've been doing a lot of research to figure out what's going on. It's just blowing my mind that President Trump stopped negotiations. It's blowing my mind that Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi could not come to an agreement faster than what many people were expecting. Why? Why is it taking so long? Well, based on all the reports I've been reading the past 24 hours, these are the things that the White House plans to do standalone bills on. They plan to do a standalone bill on unemployment at some point. They plan to do a standalone bill on schools, testing and tracing at some point. They may even include a standalone bill for state and local governments at some point. However, standalone bills have a very limited chance of passing through the House. That is one of the reasons why they are not in a rush to get these done, because they anticipate a standalone bill passing through the Senate, heading over to the House is just going to be dead on arrival. So why waste the Senate's time when they could use that time to go and push the Supreme Court Justice nominee through? That is based on the reports that I'm seeing right now. Also, a stimulus check standalone bill, as of today, currently has a 1% chance of passing before the election. People are saying this, economists, experts are saying this because they do not believe Nancy Pelosi wants a stimulus check to pass, because a stimulus check would essentially be a check with President Trump's name on it being sent out to millions and millions of Americans right before the election. That could be a pivotal moment if this happens. If these checks were to go out before the election, they are saying this would most likely be a win for President Trump. If they do not go out as of right now, Joe Biden, based on all the polls, currently has about a 14-15 point lead. However, if you remember back in 2016, Hillary Clinton also had a 14-point lead and ended up losing. So, as of right now, it is anybody's game. It's anybody's, anybody can win this. Could be Joe Biden, could be President Trump. We will just have to wait a few more weeks so that we can find out and see who America voted for. Also, the Senate would most likely begin proposing and passing some of these standalone bills prior to the election to put pressure on Nancy Pelosi in the House. However, this will probably not happen until after October 19th and before the election. Many are expecting some of these bills will not even get passed through the Senate before the election. Again, it seems like the priority right now is the election. I've been saying this for months, that getting closer to the election, the toughest part is to get Congress to battle over their priorities and figure out, okay, should the American people be number one, or should it be politics? Which one do they want to prioritize? Right now, it's politics and it's the election. So, this again is going to do very little for the American people, because as of right now, yes, Nancy Pelosi says, I want to pass stimulus checks. However, she's unwilling to do that. President Trump says, yes, I'm willing to give funding to state and local governments. However, he's unwilling to do that. And it's because both of them are playing this political game. Both of them want to win the upcoming election. President Trump, obviously for himself. Nancy Pelosi for Joe Biden. So, as of right now, many congressional aides are saying that if the American people want the most money possible in the next stimulus package, what they need to do is they need to vote Democrat. There needs to be a Democratic sweep. That means Democrats will continue to have power within the House like they already do. They will win over the Senate and take it back from Republicans, and Joe Biden will win and become the next president of the United States. However, if the American people want money now, then they need to keep President Trump in office and vote Republican throughout the Senate, because this will be their best move to get money right away. If everything stays as is, Democrats remain in control of the House. The Senate is ran by Republicans, and President Trump remains in office for the next 4 years. This will speed up the negotiation process much faster, because now Nancy Pelosi will lose all her leverage. If this happens, Nancy Pelosi will most likely have to give in and take any offer that President Trump throws at her. Could be a $1.5 trillion offer, could be 1.6. However, some are expecting if the economy gets better over the next month, then the offer is actually going to drop, and the funding for state and local governments is going to drop substantially. So that's what we know right now. Now for some good news, some very good news. Republican of New York, Tom Reed, said this yesterday. We are within inches of getting this done. Let's not walk away now. He is essentially urging President Trump to reinitiate negotiations with Speaker Pelosi. Republican Tom Reed is one of the leaders of the Problem Solvers Caucus, which had a great $1.5 trillion stimulus proposal just a few weeks ago. He said yesterday that he believed a deal for roughly $1.7 trillion was right around the corner. And with so much on the line, it would be foolish to walk away now. He also stated that the negotiators, Nancy Pelosi and Steven Mnuchin, were very close. That President Trump may have misinterpreted what was actually happening, what was going on, and how close the two were. That is at least his take on it. We haven't heard from President Trump. We have not heard from Steven Mnuchin in a little while. The only person we've really heard updates from is Nancy Pelosi. And these updates that we are giving you, again, these are just from Nancy Pelosi. So if you do not believe what Nancy Pelosi says, then take some of these updates with her talks and her information, take these with a little grain of salt. Also, yesterday, there were multiple reports saying that Senate Republicans were most likely not on board with the stimulus talks. And as of this morning, there were a few Republicans who publicly stated they support the $1.5 trillion Problem Solvers Caucus proposal. Now, the reports yesterday were saying that some Republicans, actually many Republicans, were not on board and could not support a $1.6 trillion stimulus package that Steven Mnuchin reportedly offered to Nancy Pelosi. Well, this was actually a $1.62 trillion stimulus package, and if they couldn't get on board with the $1.62 trillion stimulus package, but they were all for a $1.5 trillion stimulus package, I don't really get it. It's very close. But for the bad news, a handful of people are saying that there was miscommunication between the Trump administration and President Trump himself. Now, if this is the case, then what is supposed to happen next, based on these reports, is they're going to get back with President Trump and reiterate what was going on, how close the two sides were. I would assume something this big would not get misunderstood, would not get misconstrued. But again, we don't know because this had to be over the phone, because this came one day after President Trump was released from Walter Reed Medical Center. So hopefully this gets ironed out, because as of right now, this is the reason why all stimulus negotiations have been called off. Now, President Trump said Nancy Pelosi wasn't negotiating in good faith, but Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's a Democrat, said there is no offer on the table. She essentially said that there needs to be a written offer from the Trump administration. As of right now, it's only been a verbal offer from Steven Mnuchin. So there was really nothing concrete. We heard about the $1.62 trillion stimulus package that Steven Mnuchin offered. However, she's saying this was not a bill. This needs to be a bill. This needs to pass through the House or the Senate so that we can vote on this. This needs to be a bill. So, in a negotiation, the best thing you can do, no matter what you're negotiating, whether it's a car, a house, stimulus deal, which I've never done, but whatever you're negotiating, could be even a business, you need to put pen to paper. That's the only way to get a deal done. Yes, verbal agreements are great when you're going to do a deal on a club sandwich, but if you're trying to do $1 million deal or $1 billion deal, which again, I have never done and never plan on doing $1 trillion deal, you need to put pen to paper. That's the only way it will work. Now, some are asking, are we too little? Is it going to be too late to get anything done? What is the time frame? What's it going to look like? Well, will the American people really have to wait another month for some type of answer? This is the question we just don't know. If you read into President Trump's tweets, yes, we will have to wait potentially one more month until we get an answer. Will businesses be left out to rot while Congress is away on recess? Well, it's looking like that. As of right now, again, if you read into President Trump's President Trump's tweets, he says he wants $135 billion for small businesses. However, that still relies on Congress. We don't know if Nancy Pelosi will pass a standalone stimulus bill for businesses, because that was essentially what a congresswoman from Washington State was trying to do just a couple weeks ago, and she was blocked. She couldn't do it. So they also want to know, will voters even feel the need to vote with all the crap they have been put through? Well, these are the questions coming in, and this makes the House believe they will be forced to choose the next president of the United States, with Nancy Pelosi has stated that she is preparing the House Democrats for that event. If it is up to the House to choose the next president of the United States, she wants the Democrats to be in a position to be able to choose and not be outvoted by Republicans once again. So again, we have a lot of questions that need answers, and we have very little time left to get them before the upcoming election. Another question many people are asking is, when will companies get the funding they need to keep people hired? Well, many companies are doing layoffs as we speak. Like I said earlier, Cisco, Wells Fargo, ESPN, and even Anheuser-Busch are all going through layoffs right now. This doesn't even include Disney. This doesn't include American Airlines, United, and all the other airline industries. There are so many people being laid off right now. The problem is unemployment is being overloaded. The other problem is there is no additional unemployment benefit. All the people that are currently being laid off today, tomorrow, just this past week, there is no federal unemployment benefit for them. So they will have to rely solely on their state unemployment benefits. And for many people, that's not enough. As of shooting this video, we do not know the unemployment numbers from last week. That report will come out very soon. It will actually be out by the time this video is most likely published. However, I don't have that information as of shooting this video. I still have a few more hours before that report even comes out. So I promise you, I will get you that information later on today. Now, there are worker bonuses coming very soon. Many businesses have talked about this and have let their employees know there is a bonus if you stay with us. If you keep working, there is a bonus waiting for you. Well, many people have asked why the government won't provide hazard pay to people working through this pandemic. And what many government officials have stated is because the government does not feel it's their job to reward employees for working and making somebody else money. This should fall on the shoulders of their employer. Well, this is exactly what Lowe's has been doing all along. Lowe's, as of yesterday, is going to offer their employees and going to put in another $100 million towards bonuses. With counting this $100 million, Lowe's in total since the pandemic began has given $675 million in bonuses and additional pay alone. Now, this is actually going to go out to full-time employees are going to get about $300 as a bonus. Part-time employees are going to get roughly $150. So it is something. I believe that's just a one-time payment. However, this could be a monthly payment. So again, just don't know. But again, $100 million from Lowe's, that's a pretty substantial amount. Now, more and more retailers are jumping on this trend as well. For example, Walmart is doing something very similar. Target is doing something like this. And even Kroger has in the past. Now, this is great news for people that work at these locations, and hopefully this act of kindness catches on and more companies decide to start spreading some of their wealth. Now, the IRS recently has extended their stimulus check deadline. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the IRS, if you qualified for a stimulus check but you didn't receive one, it could be because you needed to use the non-filer tool. It could be because you're on Social Security or something like that. You didn't make enough money last year to file, or in 2018 to file taxes. If that was the case and you didn't use the non-filer tool before it ended up closing back in, I think, April, then you still have a chance to do so. All you have to do, it was extended from October 15th. It's been pushed back over a month until November 21st. The IRS says, quickly go to their website, go to irs.gov, and click on the non-filer tool. Once you are there, you can fill out your information and hopefully you will get your stimulus check very soon. The IRS also has stated they are trying to get stimulus checks to more than 9 million additional people. It's a lot of people. So that is your stimulus update for today. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. The weekend's coming very soon. Let me know what your plan is for this weekend. Let me know down in the comment section below. You gonna sit back, relax, or can you not relax because you're fighting to keep your home, keep the lights on, put food on the table? Let me know what you're gonna be doing down in the comment section below. But again, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. If you wanna stay updated on all things stimulus, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one.